3, 2, 1, start. Good day to all of you. This is your instructor, Mr. Janepi Pandan, and we will be tackling about this course titled Theories of Crime Causation. We are now, let's begin with Module 1, the introduction. The objective: at the end of this module, students will be able to identify the definition of theory, the determination, to determine the four aspects of criminological studies, that is the causes of crime, and lastly, to differentiate the mala in se and mala prohibitum. So the coverage for this lecture is 1 week. So criminologists, just like other professionals, use scientific methods to study the nature, extent, cause, and control of crimes. So based on the definition of the profession of criminologist, our job is just to determine the causes of crimes, the study on the control of crimes, and to determine the nature itself. In this context, the topic at hand intends to cover one of the four aspects of criminological studies, that is the causes of crime. So let's begin with the theory. Let's define theory. A theory is said to be a set of assumptions, propositions, or accepted facts that attempts to provide a rational explanation of causes and effect, or causal relationships among a group of observed phenomenon. Meaning, when we talk about phenomenon, this is the challenges in the society, or this is our a problem arises. So the theory is a study which is there is a facts, okay, but it is only an assumption, meaning it is not really true, but it is proven to be true. There is some definition in the dictionary. Theory is a set of principles of which the practice and activity is based, or an idea used to account for a situation or justify a course of action. So it is really clear that theory is an assumption or an idea that is proven to be true based on the support facts. Okay. In short, a theory is an idea or set of ideas that is intended to explain facts or events. So what is criminological theory? This is a proposition or assumption that attempts to explain criminal behavior, crime, and behaviors of key actors such as police, lawyers, prosecutors, judges, magistrates, social officers, victims, witnesses, accused, etc. in the criminal justice system. In this context, this is the universal definition of criminological theory. In other hand, the criminal justice system of the Philippines, we only have 5 pillars. So first, we have the community, the law enforcement, the prosecution, the court, and the correction. So meaning in these pillars, as we have discussed it in the previous subjects, that these 5 pillars actually is a cycle. So meaning it is a cycle. It started from the community, doesn't mean it really ends in the correction, because community, ay nandyan ang galing yung lahat ng actors, like the suspects, the victim, the witnesses, the judges are all coming from the community. Ibig sabihin nito, itong pillars na to ay hindi pwede mawala ng isa, dahil maputol yung justice system ng ating bansa. So hindi pwede na walang community, dahil nandyan nga galing yung mga key actors natin. hindi rin pwede na wala yung law enforcement because wala na mag-enforce ng law. So, it will break the chain of the justice system. For sure, of course, hindi pwede mawala yung prosecution because the law enforcement is just, the rule is to enforce the law, but the prosecution of the criminal offense should be handled by the prosecution. It is clear na the allegations or the complaint passed to the law enforcement, and the law enforcement has no more jurisdiction on the prosecution, so it should be passed on to prosecution. The prosecution will determine the probable cause of the crime committed if it is really committed by the offender or not. So meaning, the determination of the probable cause is in the hand of the prosecution. Later on, so, in this context, in this system, the suspect should be heard in the trial. So that is why there is so-called court. In the justice system, the court will try the both sides, whether it is the offended party or the appellant. So after which, if found guilty beyond reasonable doubt by the court, these suspects, it will now become a criminal, and it will place to correctional institution to rehabilitate, for the purpose of rehabilitation and correction, to correct the wrongdoing of the offender. And then after serve the sentence, and then go back to community. So that's the basic of the 5 pillars of the criminal justice system of the Philippines. So moving on, theories about the causes of crime are based on, as enumerated here, first, religion, philosophy, biology, politics, economy, and social forces. So let's begin with the religion. As mentioned, the theories about the cause of crime is the religion. So we all know that our world has a lot of has numerous number of religion, belief, iba-ibang belief sa mga tao. So let's try to find out the definition of religion. Ano ba talaga ang ibig sabihin ng religion? So we have here, religion is the belief in and worship of a superhuman controlling power, especially a personal god or gods. So as I mentioned, this is only a belief and worship of a superhuman, meaning superhuman, it is above the capability or the capacity of a human. So hindi natin nakikita, pero pinapaniwalaan, whether it is a personal god or gods, meaning mayroong naniniwala na isang Panginoon at mayroon na naniniwala na marami yung Panginoon. So it depends on the group where you belong. So it happens that some factors of crime or causes of crime is one of them is religion. So why? Since the world was made, there are a lot of battles between belief. So we all know in history, the jihad on in the 1300s, if I not mistaken, the battle of the Promised Land, the crusades of the Catholic Christianity. So there are a lot of conflict between religion. Until now, we heard about the the conflict of religion, but there is already an association to terrorism. So there are a lot of factors about the conflict of religion, because nowadays, in the present time, that religion is being used by the terrorist. So ito yung ginagawang shield nila, yung religion, in order to being protected, that that be rated as criminals. So hindi sila pwedeng tawagin criminals dahil meron silang sanggalang na religion. So although that it is clear and on the definition of crime that um, it is crime by nature. So for them, it is not really a crime because they are only protecting their religion. So that was the cause of the crime, religion. So for some question about that, so you can ask me through chat on the messenger or the Google or on our Google Classroom. Just type on there your questions about, or any um, any clarification. Just type in there on the messenger for some elaboration of the topic. So moving on, let's talk about philosophy. Philosophy, let's first define what is philosophy. Philosophy means, um, in the dictionary, philosophy, it is the study of the fundamental nature of knowledge, reality, and existence, especially when considered as an academic discipline. So, some definition: the study of the theoretical basis of particular branch of knowledge or experience. Um, Philosophy, from the Greek word meaning love of wisdom. It is the study of general and fundamental questions about existence, knowledge, values, reason, mind, and language. So, meaning philosophy, why it is being one of the causes of crime, is every individual has its own um, level of knowledge, values, reasoning, languages. So, meaning iba-ibang paniniwala, iba-ibang pananaw ang bawat individual. So, maaaring isang dahilan sa pagkukomit ng crime yung isang tao hindi siya naniniwala sa paniniwala ng iba. So, ibig sabihin, meron sa sariling kaisipan na hindi akma sa kanya, hindi tugma sa kanya yung pag-iisip, kaisipan din ng ibang tao. Kaya isa ito sa causes of crime na consider. So moving on, um, as mentioned, this biology. So we really know that biology is the study of the living things. So why it is being associated as cause of the crime? Basically, biology, there are a human being is formed. It is made of chromosomes, meaning, based on biology, the X and Y chromosomes and the XX chromosomes. So may mga theory din na kung yung criminality daw ng ating ninuno or the parents ay mapapasa sa kanilang mga anak. So this is only a theory. So although there are some theories that is proven that the biological factor causes of crime is true. So there are some studies in Western countries like America and Europe that their parents are, let's say, magnanakaw or killers. So there is possibility that their children will become also a criminal based on the the chromosomes or the DNA passes through their bloods and may pamana sa kanilang mga anak. And meron din tinatawag natin dito yung abnormality of chromosomes that lead to criminal behavior, like the double X and single Y chromosomes and the single X and double Y chromosome. This is one of the factors or abnormal chromosomes that lead to criminality. Or sabi nila, pag may double X and single Y, masyadong aggressive yung tao. So karamihan doon nakukulong sa Amerika ay may chromosomes na double X, single Y, or these are some abnormalities of chromosomes. So maybe we will expound these biological factors of crime in the future lecture. So moving on, let's proceed to politics. So politics is one of the causes of crime. So it is clear that political career, political race, especially in our country, has one of the factor of conflict, crime, because of power, money in a political arena. So for the past 100 years, we witnessed some violence arises during elections, political related issues. So this is one of my research about the political violent conflict from the political issues. So in our place or in our society here in Basilan, so we really observe about politics as one of the causes of crime. It's clear, and most of us witnesses of this political battle or political conflict. Okay, so let's moving on to economy. So economy, so medyo malalim to na topic. One of the causes of crime. Basically, economy, the definition of economy is a basic one is the supply and demand chain, meaning it starts with the scarcity. Meaning scarcity, may mahirap, may mayaman, yun. So there are a lot of problem about economy. So there are a lot of actually economy and politics are in connection each other, but we talk about economy. So ganito lang kasimple ang economy. Dito sa the format kasi ng isang country in terms of economic, there are a lot of example of economic governance. Say capitalism, socialism, those are economic governance. So in our country, we are using capitalism. So meron ding sa China, there are some communism. Yan. So sabi nila sa capitalism daw ay yun na nga, yung mahirap ay lalong maghirap, yung mayaman ay lalong mayaman. But that is not true in terms of capitalism. So kaganahan ng capitalism ay if you are productive, if you are doing your skills, improving your knowledge, and for sure you will be having a good place in capitalism type of government in terms of economy. So economy, bakit naging cause of crime? Siyempre may mga mahirap, just like yung mga unemployed individual, hindi makapasok sa trabaho kasi most of them walang pinag-aralan. So uh, mataas masyado yung pangailangan kaysa sa kailang kapasidad o financial na kapasidad. So minsan gagawa sila ng krimen para mabawasan yung kakulangan, at ang pamamaraan ay yung um, biyan sa batas na mga gawain tulad ng pagnanakaw, yun, papatay ng tao dahil kukunin ng mga property bilong sa ibang tao. So yan sa example yan. Kasama na rin yan yung sa mga babae yung prostitution, yan, kasama yan. So minsan kasi use minsan kasi hindi nababalance yung ekonomiya ng tao eh. Kasi may mga pangailangan na hindi kayang tumbasan ng yung financial na kapasidad, kaya minsan ang iba na makagawa ng krimen. Minsan nagbibenta ng drugs sa droga, kasi ang droga ay malaki yung kita, sobrang laki ng kita kaysa kailang puhunan, at madaling ibenta kasi addictive siya na type na once na consume siya, hanap-hanapin siya. So ibig sabihin nun, the demand will increase, so it is very sellable yung isang produkto ng illegal na droga, kasi hanap-hanapin siya ng mga consumer niyan, yung gumagamit niyan. So kaya masyadong mataas yung presyo, and then madaling siyang ibenta. So ang problema pa niyan ay wala yung tax, and nakakasira yan sa isipan ng mga nagtitake. So yun, those are the examples of causal factor crime based on economy. So there are a lot of things. Lastly, we have social forces. These are some causes of crime that the society, meron kasi tayong mga pangyayari sa society na hindi natin inaasahan, just like mga calamity, yung mga disasters. Those are social forces that one of the factors of crime. So yun, so those I had mentioned, those are only an example, but if you want to expound it, then you may message me in our chat room or in our Google Classroom. So let's move on to the next. Okay, the next topic is we talk about crime. So what is crime? Crime is an act that the law makes punishable, the breach of a legal duty treated as the subject matter of a criminal proceeding. Generally, a crime is a violation of societal rules of behavior as interpreted and expressed by the criminal law, which reflects public opinion, traditional values, viewpoint of people currently holding social and political power. Individuals who violate these rules are subject to sanctions by state authorities, social stigma, and loss of status. So, ibig sabihin ito, it is an action, it is an act, meaning may ginawa kang isang act, isang bagay na hindi siya naayon sa batas. What if ang ginawa mo ay mayroon kang ginawa pero masama siya sa mata ng tao, pero hindi pa siya punishable sa batas? We cannot call it a crime. Hindi siya matatawag na crime dahil wala pang batas na nagbibigay parusa sa isang action na yan or wrongful act ka nga. Okay. Sino bang nagdedetermine ng rightful act or wrongful act? Of course, the society design a concept that there is a limitation of action. Meaning may mga action tayo na limitado lang. So, ang batas siya yung parang fence sa ating lipunan. Kung ikaw ay lalampas doon, ay mapaparusahan ka. So, how about sa mga maling gawain na wala pang batas? Well, this is not a crime because meron tayong prinsipyo na pinawalan that nullum crimen nulla puna sine lehi, meaning there is no crime when there is no law punishing it. Yun. Meaning, kailangan gumawa ko ng batas to limit the action so that in any wrongful action or wrongful act na ginawa ay maging consider na crime. So, the concepts of mala inse and mala prohibitum, ito na yung sinasabi ko. Crimes like this are mala inse crimes which violate the society's view of morality. Ito na yung sinasabi ko that yung mala inse, it is a wrongful act because it is a wrongful act by nature, meaning naging wrongful act yung ginawa mo dahil hindi siya maganda sa paningin ng isang society kung saan ka nakatira. So remember, different society, different view of morality. So often these are more serious crimes such as felonies. So yun ang ibig sabihin ng mala inse. So the best example of mala inse is the laws of the Bible and the Quran. That is law of nature. The question is, mala inse is punishable? It depends on the society, because there are some society that will not punish on your wrongful act because for them it is acceptable act. For example, there are some places in the side of the world that does not prohibit using of marijuana, just like in Netherlands, Amsterdam, that they legalized the using of marijuana. But here in the Philippines, if you will use marijuana, that is really a violation or punishable. That is considered as wrongful act that is punishable by law. So, yun. The second one is Malum Prohibitum. It is wrongful act. It is because it is prohibited. Yun ay ibig sabihin ng Malum Prohibitum. It is wrongful act because it is prohibited. Meaning, once there is a prohibition of the law, your action is already a illegal or prohibited. Okay, so clear? I guess that's all for this topic, the module 1. So for some questions, just chat or just message me so that I can cater your questions. And thank you so much for listening, and within this week I'll be sending you our first quiz, so to be submitted on the next week. Okay, so for some clarification question, just write it or send it in our group chat. Thank you and good day.